Okay, in this video we will see the rules for construction of root locus. In the previous video we have seen that the basics of root locus. In this video we will see the rules for construction of root locus. The rules are very important in order to draw the root locus. If you follow the rules, then it will be a very easy to draw the root locus. Okay, the rule 1 we will see. The root locus is symmetrical about the real axis. Okay, the poles means, see, this is a S plane. Okay, the poles and zeros are symmetrical about this real axis. This may be here or here. These are symmetrical about, if it is here then it should be here. Okay, this the poles and zeros, there may be a poles or zeros, they have to be symmetrical about this real axis. This is a rule 1. Okay, now second rule number 2, that okay, rule number 2, at the open loop poles k equal to 0 and at the open loop 0 the k is equal to infinity. The value of k will be varied from 0 to infinity. For different values of k we will get different pole or 0, but for anything value the root locus should be start from pole and it should be end at 0, and it may be anywhere in the S plane. The root locus will always start from pole and it should be always end at 0. It may be, the 0 may be at infinity or any value. Always it should start from pole and it should terminate at 0. It should not start from 0. Always the root locus will start from pole and it will be end at 0. Okay, or it may be, this 0 may be at infinity or anything. This this pole may be at 0 or anywhere. Okay, it should start from pole and it should be end at 0. Okay, this is a rule number 2. Okay, yes, we will see the rule number 3. Okay, that is, segments of the real axis having an odd number of real axis, the open loop poles and zeros at the right half of the row. Means if it is a yes plane, okay, we have placed zeros and ones. We have placed zeros and ones. Okay, where exactly the root locus will exist means, if the right hand side of the root locus, if there exists an odd number of roots, there may be a zeros or poles. See, this is a path. Okay, a root locus may be anywhere in this path, because okay, if you place the right hand side of this pole will be 1, means if it is odd there exists a path. Here there exists a root locus position may exist. Okay, if you see this one, here there is no existence of root locus. This is a NRL, because there is no existence of root locus, because right hand side of this, because 1 and 2 there is a even number of roots, so there is no existence of no root locus. There is no root locus here. This one is root locus, because the right hand side of this path will be having odd number of roots, because at this path right hand side this will be this one, here it is having 1 root. See this one, right hand side of this one will be having 2, means even number of 0, so it is no root locus will exist at this path. Okay, this one there exists a root locus, because right hand side of this one, right hand side of this path will having 3, 1 2 3 roots, so here they may exist a root locus. At this we have to identify the based on the even and odd number of roots that exist at the right hand side of the path. Okay, next we will see the rule number 4, that is drawing a asymptote. Okay, generally the number of poles will be more than the number of zeros, in such a way that this drawing a asymptote will give the information about the how the branches will reach to infinity, how the branches will start and how they will move. This asymptote will give the guideline for the branches that will approaches to infinity. Means this asymptote means like this. Okay, this will give the guidelines for, means a root locus should move like this. This will give the guideline for the branches which will move from pole or 0 to infinity. How the roots will move from one pole to infinity. This asymptote will give the path for that. Okay, guideline will be that. And how it will be calculated as, that is theta is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 divided by p minus z. This q value will vary from 0, 1 to up to p minus z. If p minus z minus 1, if there is having a 3 poles and 1 0, okay, and minus 1, that is 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So it will, q will vary from 0 and 1. For example, if p is 4 and z is 1 minus 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So q will vary from 0, 1, 2. Okay, for putting 0 as 1 value we will get, by putting 1 q equal to 1 we will get 1, and by putting q is equal to 2 we will get one more theta value. That is asymptote, that is the guideline for the branch, that path will, for the path, it will, asymptote will be the guideline for the path of a root locus, and it will be calculated as theta is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 divided by p minus z. This q will vary from 0, 1, 2 and p minus z minus 1. Okay. Okay, next is rule number 5. You will come to know that how they can be placed and how they can be draw in the root locus. While solving the problems you will get how they exactly know. Okay, now rule number 5. Okay, rule number 5 is, in the previous rule number 4 we have calculated the asymptote. Now in the rule number 5 we will calculate where they have to be start. Okay, there are two asymptote will come, but where they have to start, where the branches of the asymptote has to start. By for that one we have to calculate a point where they have to start on the real axis, that is centroid. Okay, what we have calculated asymptote in the previous rule, so now they have to be placed in S of, in part of S plane. So the centroid will tell that the location of asymptote in the given S plane. What we have to calculate, the centroid, where they have to, asymptote they have to be placed. Okay, that is centroid. That centroid is summation of real parts of poles minus real part of zeros divided by p minus z. Okay, we have to take only real part of poles, and if it is having minus 2 plus j3, if it is there, so we have to take only the real part of poles minus real part of zeros divided by p minus z. That is centroid. Because of real parts, the centroid is always be a real value. Okay, next we have to calculate the asymptotes by using this formula, and next for the placement of that asymptote we have to calculate the centroid by using this formula. Okay, next is breakaway point. Okay, the breakaway point means where exactly the root locus has to start. Okay, that point is called as root locus, and in this we have to we will calculate the k value. What is the k value, and for that k value what will be the roots we will calculate. Okay, and now to calculate the breakaway points, we will have some rules for some steps to follow through that. Okay, in that we will calculate the value of k and roots value for that value of k. Okay, steps to breakaway points. Okay, for step 1 we will construct a characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s h of s is equal to 0. From that equation we will get something as s square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. We will get some characteristic equation. From that we will get k equation, that is k is equal to minus s square minus 2s. We will get, that is k is equal to this f of s function we will get. From next, we got the k equation. From that differentiate, we will differentiate this equation, and that we will equate to 0. That is differentiation of above equation with respect to s, and that we will equate to 0. Okay, and they will equate to 0. Okay, yes. From by equating this, we will get the roots of the equation. This will give the roots of the equation, that is s is equal to some value and s is equal to some value. We will get that gives the breakaway point. This s value give that breakaway point for positive value of k. Here we will get values of s. By putting this value of s in this above equation, that's k is equal to minus s square minus 2s, something like equation, if we get the positive value of k, that is the breakaway point. Okay, while solving the problem we will get to know that how to solve that one. Okay, yes. The next rule will be the intersection of root locus with imaginary, the intersection of root locus with imaginary axis. Okay, okay, means a root locus is like that. Okay, it will start from here to here. We have to consider, we have to calculate this where the root locus will intersect with imaginary axis. We have to calculate the value of this one. So intersection of root locus with imaginary axis. Okay, next what we have to do here, we will have some of the steps, we will see that one. Okay, step 1. Okay, consider the characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s h of s is equal, that we have to equate to 0. Okay, yes. By using root array criteria, RH criteria, we have to draw a root criteria, that is s raised to 3, s raised to 2, s raised to 1 and s raised to 0. We have to do that one. Okay, we have to construct the root array formulation. Okay, from that we have to calculate, here we will get some values of k, that is 250 minus k and something 25. Okay, we will get like this. Okay, from this one we have to equate that equation to 0, this equation to 0. We will get that time k marginal value. Okay, if we equate this value to 0, then we will get a marginal value of k. Marginal means at that value of k, at that value of k, the system is marginally stable. Before that it is stable, and after that value it is unstable. Okay, after that we have to construct the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation means we have calculated the value of k. Above that we have to see. Okay, if it is like 5, 3, okay, 6, 7, if it is like this, we have calculated from this s raised to 1 row, we have calculated the value of k marginal. Just above to that we have to construct the auxiliary equation. How to construct auxiliary equation? See, in which row it is there? Okay, what is that? 5 s square plus 3. 3 means s raised to 0. For this one s raised to 3 and s raised to 1 will be there. For this one s raised to 2 and s raised to 0 will be there. Means auxiliary equation how to construct is 5 s square plus 3 s raised to 0 means 1. Okay, 5 s square plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, we have to construct the auxiliary equation a of s is equal to 0 by using the coefficient of row which is just above the row of zeros. Okay, just above the 0 we have to construct the auxiliary equation. And the root of the auxiliary equation for k equal to k marginal, roots of the roots of the marginal equation for k equal to k marginal will give the intersection point of the root locus. What is that? Roots of the auxiliary equation a of s is equal to, if we equate a of s is equal to 0, then at k equal to k margin, then that roots will give the intersection of points on the root locus. Okay, next, the rule number 8. This is an exceptional case. If the roots exist only in the complex, means 2 2 minus j2, 2 plus j2 and 2 plus j 3.5. If there exist the roots in complex form, then the angle of departure will come. If the roots are exist only for s is equal to minus 0.5, s is equal to minus 0.8, if there exist roots in the real form, then need not to calculate this angle of departure. If their roots will exist only in the complex form, then we have to calculate angle of departure. Then otherwise it need not to be calculated. Okay, these all rules are the important rules to calculate the root locus. This whole root locus will I think we can tell as depends on, or it will stand on these rules. Okay, if you go through these rules one by one, you will understand. After solving the problems, you will definitely get through these rules. Okay, in the next slide we will start with the problem of root locus and how to draw. Okay, it is a very interesting topic if you go through this one. Okay, thank you.